You most likely have already learned what the definition of matter is in your science class. Matter is any substance that has mass and takes up space. It can be a solid, a liquid, or a gas. We're going to take this knowledge a step further today and talk about mixtures and solutions. A mixture is a physical combination of two or more substances blended together without forming a new substance. For example, this bowl of trail mix. The snack is a mix of various nuts and treats, and I can easily pull out the kinds that I don't like. A solution is a mixture of substances that are blended so completely that the mixture looks the same everywhere. It would be a lot more difficult to separate. For example, when I mix this juice powder into my water, we call the water a solvent, and the powder is a solute. The solvent, or water, dissolves the solute, which is the powder. Once the powder is dissolved, we now have a solution. Today, you will be building on this knowledge and investigating what role temperature has when mixing solutions. What effect does temperature have on the time it takes for a solid to dissolve? This is temperature and change. Have you ever had sweet tea? It's really good, and it was really popular in the state that I grew up in. I have great memories of watching my father make it. We actually called it sun tea back then. He would put several tea bags into a glass jar of water and leave it outside in the sun to steep for several hours. He would then bring it into the house and add a heaping cup of sugar to it. I always wondered why he added the sugar at the end. Why not add it earlier? Let's run an investigation to learn more about how temperature affects change. For this investigation, you will need a temperature sensor, 3 250 milliliter beakers or clear cups of similar volume, a stir rod, water, and 3 sugar cubes. I like to put my setup on a large plastic tray. It makes for easy cleanup and keeps my papers from getting wet. Let's get started. First, we want to connect our sensor to our device and choose the line graph. So I'm going to click Sensor Data, make sure my temperature sensor is connected, and it is. And I'm going to choose the line graph. This will show us temperature on the y-axis over time, which is on the x-axis. I'm going to put 200 milliliters of room temperature water into the first beaker, and I'm going to place the temperature sensor into the beaker and give it a couple seconds to stabilize. And that means just stop changing temperature. And you can see here on the bottom left, this is the real time showing you the temperature. It's almost there. Okay, I think we're ready to go. So I'm going to drop the first sugar cube into the water, start collecting data, and then I'm going to continually stir the water with the stir rod. You don't want to stir with the temperature sensor. We'll speed up the data collection for you. Okay, I'm going to stop my data collection. Once dissolved, stop collecting the data and record the temperature of the water, as well as how long it took the cube to dissolve in seconds. Record this data in Table 1. Okay, next we're going to repeat the same procedure with warm water. I'm going to pour 200 milliliters of warm water into my beaker. Again, let the temperature sensor get it in there and stabilize or stop changing. We're increasing pretty rapidly here. Just about there. Okay, I think we're good. Now I'm going to drop the sugar cube in, start recording data. And again, I'm going to continually stir with my stir rod and not my temperature sensor. Okay, I'm going to stop collecting data. And again, record the temperature and the time it took in seconds for your sugar cube to dissolve. Lastly, let's end with cold water. Again, I'm going to put 200 milliliters of cold water into my beaker. All right, get the temperature sensor in and let it stabilize. So now it's going down pretty quick. Almost there. Okay, we're good. I'm going to drop in the sugar cube and do my last run. Start collecting data and continuously stir until dissolved. We'll speed up the data collection for you. All right, I'm going to stop recording my data. And again, make sure to record the temperature of the water and how long it took in seconds to dissolve in Table 1. Once you've completed all 3 trials, show all 3 runs and recreate the graph on Graph 1 of your data collection sheet. Make sure to label your axes and create a key to tell each run apart. Pause the video to complete this step. You just dissolved a sugar cube into 3 water samples of different temperatures: room temperature, warm, and cold. After each run, we recorded the type of water, temperature, and time it took for each sugar cube to dissolve in seconds. You will use this data in your observations to answer a series of questions that include how temperature affects the rate in which a solid dissolves in a liquid. Have fun with your investigation.